Hello, welcome to part 2 of making a Pathfinder character for D&D players. Part 1, we talked about the ability scores and how they are generated. And in part 2, we're going to flesh out the character just a wee bit. Basically, we're going to start with the stuff that the ancestry and the heritage, ancestry/heritage, the background and the class give you, which is pretty much going to cover everything except buying equipment. So without further ado, let's begin, shall we? So, looking at the core rulebook, as you can see here, the elf starts with a very, very paltry 6 hit points, medium-sized, speed 30 feet. So, we will stick that stuff over on the character sheet. So we have 6 HP, which doesn't seem like a lot, but don't worry, that number will go up. And then speed is right here. Speed of 30, size medium. I mean, most of the ancestries are medium-sized. But the other thing of note is that they have low light vision. You can see in dim light as though it were bright light, and so you ignore the concealed condition due to dim light. That goes right here where it says ancestry, feats, and abilities, because you are an elf. So, low light vision will go in the first blank. Just like that, please pardon my handwriting, it is atrocious. But now comes the interesting part, because you're not just an elf. You have a heritage. You could be a desert elf, an Arctic elf, a dark elf, whatever kind of elf you want. And the core rulebook has several. For this, we are actually going to be a seer elf. That'll be fun. So, under the character sheet again, where it says ancestry and heritage, you add seer to it. Now, the seer, what it does is you have an inborn ability to detect and understand magical phenomena. You cast Detect Magic as an arcane innate spell at will. In addition, you get a +1 circumstance bonus to checks to identify magic and to decipher writing of a magical nature. These skill actions typically use Arcana, Nature, Occultism, and Religion. So, let's flip back to the backside of the character sheet again. And because my handwriting is again atrocious, I just put that they can cast Detect Magic, and they've got a +1 to identify. Deciphering writing kind of is the same thing. Now, the next line is for feats. You get an ancestry feat at first level. Since we are going to be pretty much doing some fighting, we're a fighter, so we're going to be mostly combat oriented. We're actually going to take the first level feat, Elven Weapon Familiarity, we're not actually going to take that one. We're actually going to take Nimble Elf. That is going to be our first level ancestry feat. And what that does is it actually increases our speed by 5 feet. Very useful in combat to be able to move that much further and that much closer to your opponents. So, Nimble Elf is going to be our feat. So, let me scoot this over. Nimble Elf is our feat, and that will give us an extra 5 feet of movement. which is going to help us in the long run. It actually also brings our speed up to 35 feet, which we will fix in just a second. So that takes care of the elf. Now comes the rest of the stuff, because we still have our background that we need to put in, and we still have all the stuff from our class to put in. So we took the scholar, background, and what that gives us is we are trained in our choice of arcana, nature, occultism, or religion, and we get the assurance skill feat in that chosen skill. We are also trained in the academia lore skill. So let's go back to page 1 for just a second. Here are all the skills in Pathfinder 2E. Acrobatics, arcana, athletics, crafting, deception, diplomacy, intimidation, lore, medicine, nature, occultism, performance, religion, society, stealth, survival, and thievery. As you can see here, these little things here, T, E, M, and L, that is how proficient you can be in a skill. Now, at level 1, you can only be trained. So, since we have the academia lore skill, and we can pick between arcana, occultism, nature, and religion, we're actually going to take religion. We're gonna make this character want to understand religion more. So we go to the appropriate skills. We actually got to write in academia lore right here, and we're going to be filling in the box that says T, just like that. Academia lore and religion and the T's. And we will explain in the next part what all this stuff actually means. So bear with me. We will get to that stuff. And then we actually put in the assurance feat for religion. And I will explain to you what that feat does in the third part as well, because we've still got a few more feats that we need to do. So we're going to go to the back of the sheet and we're going to put in the assurance religion feat under our background feats. I stand corrected. That's going under skill feats, because there's a background one right here. And then there's extra skill feats for levels 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20, because you get a skill feat at each of those levels. And assurance religion will go right there. And through the magic of television, there it is. So lastly, we've got our class. This is where things get exciting. So let's get to the class. First off, we need to flip back to the first page of the character sheet. So we're going to do that now. So this is what we get. Our hit points, we get 10 plus our constitution modifier. That actually gets added to our 6, which is going to give us 15 hit points at first level. Because remember, our constitution modifier is -1 for having an 8 constitution. Now, on top of that, we get all of this stuff. At first level, we get the listed proficiency ranks in the following statistics. You are untrained in anything not listed unless you get a better proficiency rank. So we are an expert in perception, we are an expert in fortitude and reflex, and trained in will. Those are our saving throws. We are trained in either acrobatics or athletics, and we get a number of additional skills equal to 3 plus our intelligence modifier. So let's start with these first. So as you can see right here, we put our expert training into perception. We did our expert training in fortitude. We did our expert training in reflex. We did our regular training in will. We get to choose between acrobatics or athletics with our skill. We're actually going to take acrobatics as that. And then we get 3 plus our intelligence modifier extra skills. Anything here we can take as long as we already don't have a box filled in. Our intelligence modifier is 2, so we get 5. Now we're going to make this character kind of social, but still kind of, well, needing to use brute force if need be. So we're actually going to take athletics, diplomacy, intimidation, society, which is sort of like the knowledge nobility, knowledge local, and stealth. So we fill those in, and now they are filled in. And as you can see, we have a decent number of skill trainings here. We've got 8 of them, or 8. I can see, my light was fooling me there. Lastly, with our defenses and our offenses, the book says that we get expert training in simple weapons, expert training in martial weapons, just training in advanced weapons, expert training in unarmed attacks. We're trained in all armor and we're trained in all unarmored defense. And we're trained in the fighter class DC. All of this information, the weapon profs go down here. And the armor proficiencies go up here. So we're going to fill these in as well. And we now have the expert training in simple and martial weapons, regular training in advanced, and expert training in unarmed there. And up here, we have trained in unarmored, light, medium, and heavy. These are going to be super important in just a few minutes. Well, these will be super important in the next video. So let's flip to the back again because we have 1 or 2 more things we got to do. All right, so we're level 1. We have an ancestry and background, which we did. Initial proficiencies, which we did. We get attack of opportunity, fighter feat, and shield block. Now, oh God. All right, sorry about that. So attack of opportunity states, here it is, when a creature within your reach uses a manipulate action or a move action, makes a ranged attack, or leaves a square during a move action it's using, you essentially get to make a melee strike. I do believe as a reaction. Yeah, as a reaction. And then the shield block states that you get the shield block general feat. It's a reaction that lets you reduce damage with a shield. We're not going to be using shields because we're going to be agile. So we go back over here to the character sheet, and attack of opportunity and shield block go into the first 2 squares under class feats and abilities. And again, through the power of the internet, there they are. And then we get a feat at level 1. So what we're going to do is, again, we're an agile fighter. We're not a we're not about the brute force. We will not be about brute force. So what we're actually going to take is we're actually going to take the exacting strike feat. What that does is you make a controlled attack, fully accounting for your momentum. When you make an attack, the attack gains the following failure effect. If you fail, the attack does not count towards your multiple attack penalty. So let me give a little background here. In Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you have a 3-action economy. If it takes an action to do, like move or attack, you use an action. In Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you can make 3 attacks on your turn if you have the opportunity. Each consecutive attack has a penalty to it. Typically, it's the first attack is normal, the second attack is at a -5 penalty, the third attack is at a -10 penalty. What this feat does is, if you miss with an attack, it doesn't count towards the penalty for multiple attacks. The attack itself is still done, but if you miss with the +0 attack and you make your second attack, it's still a +0. So, for what we're doing, that is going to be awesome. So we're going to put in that feat in the first box here, just like that. And believe it or not, that is actually it for the second part of this series. In the third part, we're going to go over all the number crunching, and then we're going to buy equipment in the fourth part. So until next time, take care, y'all. Peace.